Welcome to the Hidden Forest. I am Rev, and I am playing as Drian, my mage tonight, because I am going to cover how to go from 1 to 70 on this server and to catch all of the important highlights along the way. Obviously, the easiest answer is find somebody to power level you, but I think you can miss a lot of good content, and there's some items that you will need to gather on the way. That being said, welcome to the hub. This is where you start when you log into the server the first time. All of the class trainers are down here. So remember, periodically, as you work towards 70, on your way back to the hub, every time you come in here, talk to your warlord, your trainer, and train up on all the skills. Don't want to miss out on your melee abilities and whatnot. There's an intro quest on the server. If you come up and you talk to Queen Adrienne, she will give you a quest to essentially run around and learn what everybody does on the server, what all these mobs in the hub do. There's a lot of different pieces that have been added, and it's good to know what goes on. A quick rundown from that is we've got someone who tells you how to make bots. These are EQMU bots. They're not like the bots that I normally run that are controlled by MQ2. You've got someone who teaches you all the spells up to 70 and teaches you meditation right off the bat up to skill 200 just to help save some time. You've got access to the Lost Dungeons in the Hidden Vale. Got access to all the armor quests, got food vendors and a banker, and then everybody gets some of the basic, what would be planar armor from original Everquest for their class to start off. So that's a quick rundown. We'll go over bots to start with. When you're playing a single character, you can go quite far using this automated bot. It's relatively robust. You can equip them with whatever you want. The only thing they cannot do is use clickies, but the tanks can tank, the healers can heal. And if you use the hash command, so hash bot info or help. All the bot commands are given. Bot create is relatively easy to do. You do bot create help and it'll give you the exact syntax. So bot create help. So create bot name, bot class, bot race, and bot gender. And then their integer values given up here. So create, I'm a bot, 2 for cleric, 1 for human, 1 for female, and that would give you a cleric. Each of my main characters that I made back in the earlier days of the server has some bots attached because I like to try to go through things solo. One of my favorites that I've got here, and I'll just have her join us this whole time, is my monk. So, Dream Monks. Really. Bot list. Okay. And then you have to invite them to your group for them to do anything. Now, the cool part about the bots is they do really good job at what their specific class is. The monk does an awful lot of damage, especially if you're in lower tier or below. It took me quite a while for my actual monk to start being able to match her damage output. So, now that we've got DPS here, got a pet and monk, I have to give the next major hint. everything is infinitely easier if you pick a pet class as your first class to play. If you're able to get somebody to give you the tier 8 rank 1 pet, then you can solo everything up until the tiers, including the dragons, everything that you need. And from there, you can power level any other characters. That's how I did it on mine. Drian here has power leveled probably 16 characters up to 70, and a lot of AAs as well. So now that we've got the bots figured out and you've done your intro quest, which means you've got your basic armor, you've got 100 platinum, which you spent on bags, then the first stop along the journey here is going to be Crushbone. Now, from 1 to 30, there are 3 zones. There's Palatal Caverns, there's Crushbone, and there's Unrest. Unrest has a really cool storyline, but it doesn't have any of the epic or armor drops that you will need to move forward. So you can do a level from 1 to, say, high 20s there. Then you want to come over to Crushbone and get the basic armor set and your epic 1.0. So keep this guy in mind right here. This Mergot or Mergo, depending. This is where you're going to turn in all of your 1 to 30 items. He has these class items. Say... Oh, not only things I can use. There we go. Enchanter Emblem, Magician Emblem, etc. You'll turn these in with the items you collect in Crushbone, and we'll get armor or your epic back. So let's just do a quick run through. I'm gonna skip Unrest to save time. Have fun in there. It's it's easy and fun. I'm going to say that Palatal Caverns, the only reason you'll need to go in there is to fight your way to the far back, we'll say left-hand side of the zone and the bottom to fight a goblin who is a part of your next charm quest. When you finish your intro quest, you'll also get your first charm here. It'll be Charm of Queen Adrian. And every rank of, or every stage you move along your quest, you'll be able to upgrade it. And the first one is by killing a mob in Unrest, or in Palatal Caverns and in Crushbone. So off to Crushbone. So there's a couple of things in here that have to be done. That are really useful to be done. Obviously, they don't have to. The first one is you'll want to do the 2 quests. This goblin over here, and there's a goblin standing right over here. They'll do ring quests that make you kill orcs. One of them gives you a levitation clicky ring, which is pretty useful. So I highly recommend that. And then as you kill things here, let's see if any of them drop right away. So this metal sheet would be for part of the plate class beginner armor. So you'll get patterns from these that you'll combine with those and with the emblems that I showed earlier to fill out a set of gear. You can find out that info on the wiki. I would recommend checking it out. And then you'll do your Epic 1.0, which items for it drop off of these mobs. Here's a pattern. So hands and a chain piece. And you'll find these crystals. Probably won't see one. I don't know. You'll need 3 of them, and then you combine the 3 crystals with the class symbol, and you'll get your Epic 1.0. So that's all that I really need to add. So once you clear out the castle, You'll beat all the bad guys. You'll get the chest pattern and the leg patterns off the main bosses. And by that point, you'll be 30. And you'll move on to the next place. So if you run up over here into this area over here where it's where the slaver would be. If you cross the bridge behind him is where the first goblin for the charm quest is. So that and the one from Paladel, and you're all set. So good. You've got the levering, and now you're level 30. Might add that you can also get J boots in the zone as well. There's a couple of weapon drops that are not bad. Use your judgment on those. So now you're 31, and we can go move on to the next set of armor and the next difficulty of zones. The next set of armor is called your chaotic armor, and it's a big upgrade. I believe the chest piece of it is the first one that gets a tier level. So the chest piece is tier 1, the rest of it's tier 0. The two zones that can drop items for the chaotic armor are going to be City of Mist and Sebelis. And by Sebelis, I mean Guck, of course. I recommend, if you're going to go to City of Mist, that's fine. I'm not entirely certain why Elemental Fury isn't working, but anyway. City of Mist is fine. Work your way to the top. Get all the pieces. Build your chaotic armor. You'll drop coins and a base piece that you'll need to combine. The person to turn those into is right around the corner here. That Sheaver right there. But you'll need to go to Guck for one reason in particular, and that is we need to pick up a quest item. I would consider this one not optional. This one needs to happen. This Gremlin guy gives a task to go kill a whole bunch of frogs. And by the time you're done, you end up with an item. Not the Mass Stone. Probably won't even... Oh yeah, Orb of Spirits. Here we go. It's a clicky that gives you, I think, 20,000 mana back. 10,000 mana back. So when you res in the middle of a fight, you can have that go clicky and get your mana refreshed. It's a very good item to keep. Every time my group loses somebody and they come back, they can join back on the fight after the 45-second click. So once you've gone through either this zone or City of Mist, I usually use this zone because it's a one-stop shop. You will have a full set of chaotic armor, and you'll have an Orb of Spirits if you're a caster. And you will have had the fun of clearing out this zone, which is always great. Go up and kill the king. That's where the breastplate base item drops. And just fighting, you should get to at least level 50. Level 50 is the key. The task zones are based on 30 to 55, but you can advance once you get to 50, and that's important because the next best zone to move on to as quickly as possible is Sebelis, of course. I want to make a side quest note here. There's another zone called not Tipped, but Natimbi, the Broken Shores. If you go there, fast experience, mobs drop gems. It's pretty good place to power level once you've made your way through first. It can be a little bit tricky. There's a lot of good long aggro range, but it's definitely worth it. And I have to say that a set of armor drops there, the Explorer's armor, that somewhat rivals Chaotic. So that is another avenue to go that way if you choose. So now you're level 50 to 55. What do we do now? Well, we go subless because a lot happens there. So, Trill here. There's 3 zones that are part of the 50 to 55 to 70. Seb, Nagavan's Lair, and Valor. Each of them has a boss dragon that you'll need to kill one of the 3. I usually just go to subless because you get a ton of money there, and the mobs are easy to kill and lots of pulls. Nagavan's Lair. Nagi is really easy to kill, but the zone doesn't have quite the loot and fast kill opportunities that this one does. And Valor is not bad for experience. There's no loot there, except maybe off of 2 mobs. So I have gone there in the past to power level for the experience only, but that's been about it. I go straight for subless. This place is great. And if anybody remembers doing the 5-hour wait for a group in subless, then coming down here when there's only a couple of people and you're able to get a ton of experience off of everything. If you have the monk and a pet sitting here guarding, then not much is going to hurt you. Every one of the ways down here, every direction you can go has loot that will help you out. That is an upgrade to everything that you've got, except the base armor. It's got your initial sets of jewelry that helps. It's got your masks. It's got some clickies. Everything that really kind of fills out your gear from the last difficulty. So we're gonna jump down here, and one of the exciting pieces about this zone is the juggernauts. They are great experience. They are fast spawning, so you can run to the end of the jugs, kill them, then head back to the front of the jug area and kill some more. This is the primary way that I power level is I park a tune at the top where they're safe, and then I just fight my way through here. And as I fight back and forth, they get the experience, and I get gem drops, which I use to buy their tokens to get to tier 2. I have to say that that's not the greatest strategy. If you can beat tier 1 and not get sick of it, then do that, because you're going to need the money. The Epic 2.0 that you'll get after you finish tier 2 costs roughly, I think, 15,000 platinum for the turn-in piece. And then after you save that up for each character, then you're going to need the 60,000 platinum for your tier 6 armor. So if you can save the money, do it. But otherwise, have fun. You'll be surprised with the level 70 bots. They have a lot of the capabilities that you makes them powerful. So with them, you should be able to handle a lot of this stuff. Whether or not you can come down and clean up the dragons, that's up to you to attempt. Otherwise, just wait to see if somebody announces that they've killed the dragon. And usually people will call of hero you in and let you loot the dragon blood and the proof of dead dragons, which both are needed for a quest. The dragon blood is used for the Epic 1.0 or 1.5. The proof of dead dragons is used for your tier 6 arms. you turn them in the plane of fear. If you see the video that I released before this one, that is where the main item comes from. But we're gonna go through and we're gonna kill Trachanon real quick because it's fun. And by the time you're done with Trachanon, you should be level 70 and ready to move on to the next phase, which I'll call tier 0.5. And that's going to be where we gear up for the first raid tier. There's a lot that goes on in that time frame. I can think of probably 7 or 8 zone stops that we have to make on the way. Come up here, get Tolapumje or Jump a Lot, whichever. This shouldn't take long. Oh, it's being attacked. Got it. The monk is smart enough to stop attacking on Enrage. Yeah, kill the protector. The nice part about the monk bot, or all the bots, is that they don't draw primary aggro. So if they're just standing there, mobs will not aggro them. However, when they start healing a bunch, then they might get aggro. The clerics are good healers. I've got to say that I did a long time where I 3-boxed without any automation, and I used the healer or the cleric as my healer. And I had Shadow Knight, Bard, and Monk as my main characters. And they did really well. It wasn't until I got to the main, or to tier 1, that I had to start making new characters. So, decent items. Nobody on the server right now can come up here. And then once you get all the items needed for the Epic 1.5, come in here and turn it into this one right here. This big beefy guy. Alright, so now we go back and we're freshly level 70. Congratulations. You've got a clicky mana item. You've got a chaotic armor set with a bunch of gear filled in from Sebelis. You've got a whole bunch of cash because of the gem drops in Sebelis. And we're ready to start getting rolling for the gear up for the planes.